in your comfortable seated position, maybe just allowing the backs of your hands to rest on your knees. And if you feel comfortable to do so, you can just close your eyes. Just gently allow the eyelids to close. And see how all the muscles around the eyes are feeling. Can you let go of any tension there? So it's almost a feeling like the eyeballs want to roll back in their sockets. Just seeing how the forehead is. Is there any tension there that you can let go of? Can you imagine your eyebrows always melting down your face? And feeling as though your head is almost like a balloon. It's feeling light and lifting up to the sky as you inhale. And as you exhale, rooting down into your seat bones. You might want to just lift one cheek and the other. Find somewhere you feel evenly seated, even weight between either buttock. And then we'll bring attention to our spine. So as we inhale, the spine just grows a few centimeters. Exhale, release tension in the shoulders. Maybe roll them back, maybe one at a time. Maybe take a few rolls here. And often at the beginning of our practice, we can feel quite scattered. So just being prepared to work through any layers of almost agitation, irritation, wanting to move, wanting to think about what you're doing later. And just greeting those thoughts with kindness and then just letting them go. Continually encouraging the mind to be here in the present moment, where we want to be. Lovely. And then allowing the mind to come to the breath being the most important focus of our practice. Often we forget about the breath and we breathe quite rapidly in the top part of our chest, but just let's see if for the next hour we can dedicate our practice to breathing so consciously, so fully and deeply. And in order to breathe fully, we need to be able to exhale fully. So on your next exhale, see if you can really squeeze the navel towards your spine, really let out all of the air. And just see what muscles are activating there as you squeeze them out. Beautiful. And then inhale, encouraging the breath into the belly. So the navel rises. And initially this technique can feel a bit awkward. But this is the correct way to breathe and the way we absorb most of the oxygen in the lower part of our lungs. Nice. So let's start by breathing in, maybe for the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and out for the count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 6. In for 5. Out for 6. Lovely. And then continuing to breathe as deeply as feels comfortable for you. Option here to bring your prayer to your heart. Maybe take a moment to set an intention for your practice. Something that you want to work towards. Maybe something you want to let go of. Maybe there's some stress that's been happening in your week that you feel is weighing on your shoulders. You might even just want to give yourself a little shake to get rid of that straight away. Beautiful. And then let's seal that intention with a single breath. And then keeping the eyes closed, if you're happy to do so. Let's straighten the legs out in front of us, keeping the knees bent so their feet are out in front of us. And then we'll inhale, sweep the hands high. Exhale, fold forward, so snuggling your upper body into your thighs. Get a nice contact there, holding onto the outer edges of the feet or the shins. And then exhale, relax the head down. Let's begin moving the head with the breath. So as you inhale, head lifts. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, head down. Chin tucks in. Inhale, lengthen. Maybe the legs begin to straighten a tiny centimetre with every exhale. Nice. And just beginning to deepen. And just keeping the mind focused on the breath. The body moving in tune with the breath. Last one now, exhale down. Nice. We're going to come up all the way, inhale, reach the hands up. Straighten the legs. Exhale, releasing the hands down. So if we're feeling uncomfortable in this seated position, Dandasana, the pole posture, maybe sitting on something underneath you if that's something close. Otherwise, we're going to inhale, straighten the spine, lengthen. Hands are just behind us. Maybe your hands reach the ground. Mine don't. Otherwise, we're just on fingertips, elbows gently bending backwards. Pull the toes towards you, legs so straight. There's something so simple. It takes a lot of muscle power, I always find. This is quite a strenuous pose. So your quads are active, your calves are active, so maybe your heels even lift off the ground. Toes pulling towards you. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bending the right knee. Let's inhale, sweep the left hand up. And then hugging onto that knee, right fingertips behind you. Let's take a gentle twist, looking over the right shoulder. Just checking that the shoulders aren't lifting up. With every inhale, the spine grows. Every exhale, maybe twist a bit more. Really squeeze the navel in. Beautiful. Nice. Let's inhale, relax. Left hand down behind. Let's take a little back bend. Push the right knee into the ground. Your gaze follows the fingers. Feeling the opening of the heart to the sky. Beautiful. Exhale down. Bring the soles of the feet together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, maybe beginning to hinge forward at those hips. The elbows just gently pushing on the thighs. We're trying not to arch or crush the chest space. We want those lungs to remain nice and open. Exhale, hinge more. Nice. Let's inhale, slowly come back up. Straightening the right leg. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Exhale, take your twist, maybe just hugging that knee. Left fingertips behind you, pushing them into the ground to encourage the lengthening of the spine. And exhale, hug the right knee more, twist around more, looking over the left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen, moving with the breath even as we're still in the posture. Feel how the difference is as you activate your muscles. You could just sit here in a relaxed position, or you can get every muscle involved. Nice. Inhale, release the knee. Allow the knee to fall down to the ground. Right hand behind you. Left hand reaches up. There we go. Gentle back bend here. Releasing any tension in the neck while you're here. Breathing in maybe directly into the heart space so that you feel the expansion there. Nice. Exhale, let's lower all the way down. So coming onto the mat so that you can take a few rolls, so holding onto the knees, rolling backwards and forwards, just loosening up the spine. I like to make sure I roll on either side of the spinous processes, so not actually the bony points. So it's like you're giving your muscles a little massage here. Good. And then maybe you're rolling so much that you can come all the way onto your feet and take a forward fold. Maybe some hands are involved in that transition, that's absolutely fine. Beautiful, nice. Oh, hold on to our elbows here, take a nice soft forward fold, feel free to bend the knees. Release the neck, release the jaw. Maybe stretch out the jaw here. Maybe take a lion's breath. So inhale deeply to take the lion's breath. Exhale forcefully, stick out the tongue. Let's do two more, inhale.
Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Really nice. So bending the right knee, right fingertips on the ground. Inhale, peel left hand to the sky. Exhale, left hand down. Let's take this the other way. Smoothly flow with the breath, right hand to the sky. Nice. Exhale, right hand down. Feet about hip width apart. Inhale into Utkatasana, the chair pose. So just peeling the spine up. Our hips move back in space. Our seat bones move down. Reach the hands to the sky while keeping the shoulder blades in the direction of the sacrum. Gaze to the sky. And breathe. Maybe lower down a bit more. Navel in. Really keep the core strong here. 3 more deep breaths. Feeling the burn in the thighs, the desire to move. Any other frustration, just observing it, greeting it with love. If you're working with bandhas, really activating them here, so drawing up everything in between the seat bones, drawing navel in, Uddiyana Bandha. On your next inhale, hands together, inhale, hips forward. Gentle back bend, open the heart to the sky. Keep tailbone tucking down here. Good. As you exhale, next let's fly down, arms wide. Fingertips in line with toes, even if they're not touching. Nice. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Placing hands on the mat, maybe bend the knees, stepping back into your plank. Gentle bend in the elbows. Let's take 1 deep breath here. Exhale, Chaturanga down, all the way down onto the ground. Belly on the mat. Bring elbows underneath your shoulders. Hands wide. Grab onto the ground with your totally open grip. Squeeze shoulder blades back. Open the heart forwards and pull the ground backwards so that you're pulling the heart forwards. Gentle tuck of the chin here. Breathe into the heart. Two more really deep conscious breaths. How conscious are you being with your breath right now? Can you imagine you're drawing the breath all the way to the toes? From your nose, beautiful. Exhale, melt the heart back down. Hands underneath your shoulders, tucking the toes, maybe coming through knees or lifting up into your plank. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. So, taking a soft downward facing dog, pedaling out at one knee and then the other. Getting to grips where your hands are, maybe just checking, middle fingers are pointing forwards. And then fingers are spread as wide as they possibly can. Now we're looking for the spine to be ascending as much as possible, so really lift the seat bones. And then maybe not, the heels will come to the ground. That's really not important to this pose. That's more of a progression, so just thinking about the lengthening, ascending element. And then possibly one, maybe the other heel comes down. Beautiful. There's a soft, gentle bend in the elbows. We never hang on the bones. We never aim to. We always want to have a little bit of contraction there. And then we breathe. Really nice. On your next inhale, let's sweep the right foot to the sky. So toes point. Let's lengthen as much as we can. And as you exhale, smoothly draw the knee towards your nose. We're going to hold this for 3 breaths. So keep everything lifting away from the ground. Always continue to have that little bend. But you draw the navel, draw the knee, draw the hip, everything high. Keep breathing. Beautiful. On your next inhale, sweep that right leg really long to the sky again. Exhale, step it all the way through. Right foot to the ground. Lower the back knee, untuck the toes, press the left back toes into the ground. And when you're ready, sweep the hands to the sky, bring them wide. Lift the hips, tuck the tailbone, navel in, then draw the hips forward more. Really nice. Opening the heart to the sky. Interlinking all fingers apart from index. Good, keeping the core active. Maybe you can deepen into this hip stretch. I like to imagine I'm breathing into the hip here, just releasing anything that I'm holding. We use so much flexion in the hips in our daily lives. It's quite a release, a relief. sometimes a bit strenuous to stretch the other way. Beautiful. Exhale, straighten the front leg, fingertips to the ground, pull the toes towards you. Heart forwards. Continuing to breathe, so think about a long spine here. Tucking the chin, the spine is one long continuum. Again, all muscles are active, so push the top of the back foot into the ground. Pull right toes towards you, kneecap towards you. Beautiful. Inhale, coming forwards, tucking the back toes. We'll bring the right thumb into the right hip and inhale, sweep left hand to the sky. Exhale, bring the left elbow over the knee. So we're trying to get the armpit almost into the knee. Bring the prayer to the heart. So push the right hand down, tucking the back toes, and then pushing the left arm downwards. We want the thumbs to come towards the sternum. 3 nice deep breaths here. Deep breathing, beautiful. And as you release here, we're going to open up all the way into our warrior two. Beautiful. We're looking over the middle finger here, tucking the tailbone, and then eventually aiming for this thigh to be in line with the ground. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths, continuing to breathe. I just shut the window. Let's reverse this warrior. Left hand sweeps forward, right hand over. Gaze follows the right hand fingertips. Feeling like this hip and rib space is opening. Staying deep into that right leg without overtaking the toes. And one more deep breath. Nice. Inhale, coming up. Reaching the arms on. We're going to face the long edge of the mat now. So bring the heels in, toes pointing out. Inhale your starfish, so reach everything opposite directions. Exhale, lion, bend the elbows, bend the knees. Nice. We're staying here. Next inhale, reaching the arms high. Exhale, right hand down, left hand sweeps over. Maybe swelling down a bit more. Beautiful, looking up at the left hand. Nice. Inhale back to center. Exhale, opposite direction. Trying to stay low. Maybe you can lower the hips even more. Yeah, aim for 3 breaths. One more deep breath. Nice. Inhale back to center. Arms long, straighten the legs. Point the right toes forward. Left toes are about 45 degrees. We're reaching, coming into our Trikonasana, drop the right hip, then cartwheel the hands. Maybe the hands find the toes or the ankle. Or if it's on the shin, just resting the back of your hand on your shin. Good. Gaze is traditionally to the top hand. Maybe that doesn't serve your neck today, so you can just relax it long. I tend to hold a lot of strain in my neck, so looking up and craning it doesn't help. Really nice. Inhale, come back up. Let's reverse this Trikonasana. Right hand to the sky. Good. And we inhale, come back forwards. This time either coming back into your Trikonasana or I'm just going to move my leg, but you can maybe keep your still. Find the ground with your right hand fingertips. Lifting the left leg so it's parallel to the ground. And maybe then having a play, can that right hand float a little bit? Beautiful. Option here to bend that leg and maybe clasp it with the left hand, kicking back, finding a sort of bow. feeling. But wherever you are, if you're finding you're not breathing, maybe coming out a few stages, finding somewhere you can breathe. Right, we're going to take one more deep breath here. We'll stay for the exhale. If you're bound, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take it long. Beautiful. Inhale, let's reverse the warrior. And then cover the hands, framing the front foot. Stepping this back into your plank. Option to come straight into downward facing dog or child's pose. Otherwise, inhale here, exhale, chaturanga. Maybe hover the body a few inches here. On your next inhale, push forward with the toes. Peel the heart to the sky, open up. Exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Take 5 deep breaths here. So taking your time, realigning yourself. Lift up all your toes, spread them wide. Placing them back down on the mat with little gaps between them. Lifting arches. Lifting kneecaps towards hips. Spreading the fingers, pushing the weight into the pad of the index finger. Really nice. And then on your next inhale, sweeping the left leg to the sky. Exhale, draw the knee to the nose. 3 breaths here. Push everything really high. Tuck the knee, nose towards the knee. Can you lift the navel any higher, the knee any higher, hip any higher? One more deep breath. On your inhale, sweep the left leg to the sky. Lovely. Exhale, draw the knee to the nose. Step the foot through, lower the back knee. Really nice. Inhale, hands to the sky. Lifting the hips, gathering the core muscles together to give you the strength to then bring the hips forward without crashing into the lower back. Interlinking the fingers the other way this time, which might feel a bit strange, so the index fingers are still pointing high. And maybe this time the heart can open a little bit more. So maybe the arms can be in line with the ears. Finding one place to gaze in the sky. Attention back to the breath. Really nice. One more deep inhale. As we exhale, we lower the arms, straightening the front leg, toes towards you. So pulling left hip back into left hip socket. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Tail lifting to the sky. Good. And having a look down at the left foot, are all the toes in line? Sometimes I pull more my big toe than the little toe, so just keeping them even here. Pushing back right top of foot into the ground. Beautiful. Walking hands forward. Coming up, left thumb into the left hip socket. To keep it back. Inhale, right hand to the sky. Exhale, lengthen and then twist as the right elbow comes over. Nice. Bringing the prayer to the heart. Option to tuck back toes. Thumbs to the sternum. Gaze over the left elbow. If that feels good for your neck. And then breathe. The most important element of all. Strong back leg. Strong, deep, solid breath. Nice. Getting ready to unravel your arms and cartwheel them into your warrior 2. So we open the hips to the long edge of the mat. Staying where you are, I'm just going to turn around. Nice. So can you squat down any more into your warrior 2? Maybe there's a mirror somewhere you can just check. What's your thigh doing? Are you really high? We don't want the knee to be, we want the knee to be directly over the ankle. Gently pull back on your bow. Gaze over middle finger. Steady breath. Gentle Uddiyana Bandha. Gentle Mula Bandha. On your next inhale, let's reverse this. Inhale. really strong, deep, conscious breaths. Nice. Inhale, straightening both legs. Point the toes in and then bring the heels in. Inhale, starfish. Exhale, lion. Legs stay here. Bring the heels in. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, left arm down, right arm sweeps over. Nice. 3 breaths. Breathing into thighs, sending them love. Tucking tailbone. Nice. Inhale back up. Exhale, other way. Opening the left armpit to the sky. Enjoying all of the sensations. One last breath. Beautiful. Inhale back to center, straighten both legs. Exhale, interlink hands behind your back. Look up to the sky. Heels out this time. Exhale, fold forwards. We'll just take a few breaths here. So bring the weight more into the toes most likely. We want the weight to be even between heel and toes. In our forward folds, we tend to feel safer when the weight is more in our heels. But we never stay anywhere if we only stay the places where we feel safe. So let's try and even out the weight. Beautiful. Inhale, pull the hands all the way back, come back to standing. Beautiful. Bringing the heels in, left toes point out, arms long, and that right toes about 45 degrees out. Lengthen the spine, arms, exhale, left, reaching over the left foot, cartwheeling, finding ankle, shin, or maybe big toe. Imagining hips, shoulders, feet all in line so that we can shimmy between the smallest gap. Sideways like a crab. And then allowing the neck to do whatever it needs to do here. Eventually we're thinking of the heart opening up towards the sky, so there's almost a feeling of a twist. As we inhale, we come back up. Carve with the hands, reverse. Trikonasana. Beautiful. And then on your next inhale, reaching forwards. Optional back into Trikonasana or lifting that back leg. Maybe you normally don't try this one and you get a bit worried. Just having a little hop, even if you come halfway. So pull toes towards you. In Ardha Chandrasana, our hips are aiming to be in line with the long edge of the mat, so long, so the toes are out towards the wall in front of you. Option here to bind. Holding onto ankle, maybe kicking back. Gentle back bend. Feeling the balance in the toes. Feeling where you feel the stretch and where can you draw the breath to. Let's take 2 more deep, really conscious breaths wherever you are. Or meet in our warrior 2. Beautiful. Find your landing. Inhale, reverse the warrior once you're there. Beautiful. And then we'll come back up. Cartwheel the hands. Finding plank, down facing dog or child's pose. In your plank core super strong, heels shooting backwards. Let's take 1 deep breath here. Exhale, lowering the body, keep the body hovering a few inches. Push forward with the toes. Upward facing dog. Elbows gently bending backwards. Exhale, down, downward facing dog. Let's take 5 nice deep slow breaths here. Nice. We'll look between the hands. Come up onto the toes, lift that seat bones as high as you can. Activate the bandhas, those energy locks, squeezing everything between the seat bones, the navel, and then hop gently to the top of the mat. See how much lighter you might feel. with everything activated. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Hands underneath, palms underneath the soles of the feet. Just creating an amazing energy circuit that you may be able to feel, you may not, but whether you can or you can't, you're still reaping the amazing benefits of soul and palm connection. The knees can be bent here. It's always adapting the practice to what feels good for you today. Sometimes I practice really gently, sometimes not. Beautiful, and then releasing the hands. Let's come back into our Utkatasana. If your knees and hips are okay, maybe bringing inner toe joints together. So heels are just slightly apart, lifting all the toes. Inhale, squeezing the knees if they're together. Lifting the hands, exhale, squeeze it down. Good. Ujjayi breath if you can. Draw navel in. Maybe lower hips down a bit more. Nice. On your next inhale, straighten the left leg. So we're standing on the left leg, draw right knee towards you. If we're going to stand here, maybe this is enough. Maybe we can take the yogi toe grip, index and middle finger around the big toe. And then maybe we can straighten or begin to straighten that right leg. Maybe it comes high, maybe it doesn't. Does not matter, but we're just keeping the standing leg so strong. Draw the right hip back into the right hip socket. Hold on to something if you need to. Now, we're going to begin to exhale, open the hip. Beautiful. And then looking over the left shoulder, if the balance allows. If you're feeling unbalanced, keeping the vision forwards. Beautiful. Inhale, back to center. Now, can we hold on to that ankle and take it behind us? We may just stay here. That's absolutely fine. Maybe we can kick it back, coming into a dancer. So there's this feeling of give and take. So as you kick back, you can maybe begin to lean forwards more. Spread the toes, heart forwards. One more deep breath. Beautiful. Exhale, coming up. Keep that foot off the ground if you can. Little balance sequence. Coming into tree. So sole of the foot touching inner thigh. It's fine to wobble. It's fine to come out of this. If the foot does not come to inner thigh, allow it to be below the knee. Really nice. And let's go into eagle arms. So we're going to bring the right over the left. And maybe the hands come together, maybe they don't. It's like we're an eagle in a tree. 5 breaths. Find somewhere for your gaze to hold on to. Squeezing shoulders down, maybe lifting elbows more. Really nice. Maybe last breath here, and we're going to come into the last balance pose of warrior 3. So release the right leg, eagle, warrior. Reaching right leg back. Beautiful. Really nice. And then stepping the right foot 3/4 of the way back on the mat. Beautiful. Release the arms, reach them high, exhale. Option to hold on to elbows. Or maybe take the prayer behind here. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to fold over that front leg. So if your prayer is behind your back, you're aiming to squeeze the fingers all the way at the back as high as you can. Lifting elbows away from the ground. Drawing left hip back. Heart towards left shin. Really nice. And there we go. We're going to release the arms and come to sit all the way down on the ground. So this right leg coming outside of the left. Maybe this does not feel good for the right knee, so just sitting on something here. Beautiful. So right heel in towards right hip. Knees are together. Inhale, sweep hands high. Exhale, fold over that front leg. So we might not come down very high, far. Our gaze is at our big toe. The name of this pose is so long I wish I could pronounce it very well. It's something like Triangloka Eka Pada Pushimatanasana. It may be nothing like that, but it's a great pose. Nice. Inhale, coming up. Bringing right hand either to the shin or the outer edge of the foot. Inhale, sweeping left hand behind you. Option here to lift that leg. And gaze over the right, left thumbs. Beautiful. Exhale. Finding your way into your vinyasa or straight into downward facing dog. Or maybe child's pose for a few breaths. So you're choosing your resting pose, downward facing dog, maybe tabletop, maybe child's pose, 4 nice long breaths. Really nice. And then looking between the hands. We're going to meet at the top of our mats, choosing to float or step or walk the feet to the top of the mat. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Finding your foot positioning, maybe inner toe joints just touching or heels slightly apart. Lift all the toes, spread them wide, really get your grip. Bending the knees, inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose, reach hands to the sky. Exhale, hips lower. 5 deep breaths. You're going to be so strong after this. Beautiful. Getting ready to bring your weight into your right foot. Straighten the right leg, left knee towards you. Nice. Option to stay here. Or left hand to come around the outside of the knee, holding onto big toe, right hand to the right hip. Inhale. Option to straighten a little bit or all the way. Three nice deep breaths. And then we're getting ready to open the hip. Nice. You want to have a little play, maybe right hand to the sky. Maybe right hand to the wall near you. Beautiful. Inhale back to center. We're going to flip this into our dancer. So holding onto the top heel, reaching forward with the right hand. Nice. It's that point of trust where your back leg is kicking back and your right arm is reaching forward and you find that point of balance. Oh, you lose it. It's good to push the boundaries. Right, hopefully you've still got your foot. Nice. We're going to inhale, coming forwards, bringing this into our tree. So left foot to inner thigh. Good, this time, left arm's on top, right arm underneath. Lift elbows, squeeze shoulder blades down, press palms together. Left knee rotating out. And breathe. So with every breath we grow. Isn't it interesting the days that we don't feel so balanced compared to the days we do, what's going on in our mind and our lives on those days? Now we're going to come from eagle in a tree to eagle warrior. Fly that left leg back straight behind you. Confident 4 breaths.
Nice. And then stepping that foot 3/4 of the way behind you. Releasing elbows. Inhale. Sweep hands high. Option to hold onto elbows. Take your prayer. Lengthen the spine wherever you are. Then take your fold over that right leg. Lifting elbows away from the ground. Gaze to the big toe. Almost imagining your spine's melting down that leg with every exhale. Beautiful. And then we're going to release the arms. Come all the way to sitting on the ground. So lower the left knee. Just keep the right leg straight out in front of you. Hip snuggles into that left hip. It's got very dark. Apologies. Inhale, sweep the hands to the sky. Exhale, sweep your arms, aligning your chest with that right shin. So maybe you're holding onto the foot, maybe holding onto the shin. In the full bound position, the right arm is long, so the left hand holds onto the right wrist. And maybe we're nowhere near that, so that's fine. Nice. Inhale to lengthen. Option to take one more vinyasa, the final one. Or we'll meet here in seated if that feels nicer. Maybe taking another dandasana. Legs as strong as if they were standing. Toes pulling towards you. So strongly that the calves actually lift the heels. I think we're all here in our dandasana now. So bringing your hands behind you, legs are straight, or for a slightly less strong version, but still very strong, keeping the knees bent. Let's lift the hips. So hips, chest, toes are in line. Head can relax back if the neck allows. Taking 5 breaths here if you're able. Can you lift the chest anymore? Spread the hands, lift the hips. Breathe deep. Toes to the ground, toes to the ground. Nice. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale, sweep the hands to the sky. Maybe bend the knees or keep them straight, fold forwards. You allow the head to be heavy here. Or soft as you like, forward fold. Maybe closing the eyes, softening the breath. You're going to have about 3 more breaths here. Your spine's like a waterfall toppling forwards with every exhale. And when you've finished on your next inhale, you're going to come all the way up to seated. So the next pose can be quite intense on the hips and the knees. We've already worn them up a lot, so they should be okay. But if you do want to use a pillow, maybe just sitting up on here now just to release some of the tension. And we're going to bring the knees together, the heels, the toes pointing behind us. Great, and just going to bring you a bit forwards on the mat. Lovely. So if you're feeling, oh, this does not feel good for my knees, this doesn't feel good for my hips, always come out. You could sit on 5 pillows here if you like, that's absolutely fine. If you're sitting here and you're not on a pillow, and this feels absolutely fine, no pain or twinging in the hip, you can maybe begin to come down, so lower your hands down. Keep reassessing, and maybe lowering down onto the elbows. I like to just lift the hips to reset the pelvis. Maybe this feels okay on the elbows, maybe you can slide all the way down. Just checking knees are still together, still on the ground. Maybe coming all the way down to lying.
But remembering if you're on a pillow, we just stay in seated in this position because that's probably intense enough. If you're absolutely comfortable lying down, maybe holding onto elbows above your head. Wherever you are, we'll take 5 breaths, but do feel free to come out whenever you need to. This will be great for stretching out the quads, where we've been doing a lot of work today. So if you can stay with it, maybe taking a few more breaths, really breathing into the thighs, sending them the love. Really nice. And we're going to come out of this the same way we came in. So we're holding onto your heels, coming up onto the elbows, and using your hands. We're just going to lift up onto to sit on our heels and come into a forward fold. So taking your child's pose. Forehead to the ground, maybe holding onto the soles of your feet. So bringing awareness to that point of contact on your forehead, the third eye center of the earth. Allowing hips to melt down into heels. And allowing a sense of relaxation, feeling the spine realign. And when you feel the spine, the hips, the knees all feel okay, you can begin to lift out of this and come to lie down onto our backs. Draw knees into armpits. And we'll straighten the left leg to the sky, bring the right ankle over that knee. And then holding on to the out behind the thigh, maybe that right elbow can push the right knee out a bit, and then you can just bend that left knee. So we're doing a lying down pigeon here. You may have an intense feeling in the gluteal area. This is stretching piriformis, which in my kinesiology practice is really related to a valve in the digestive system. So doing this stretch may give you some digestive benefits as well. So there we exhale, bringing attention to that deep muscle you might be feeling in your right hip. Giving it permission just to let go, almost imagining it letting go, imagining the fibres relaxing. So we're going to exhale, release the left foot to the ground, lift the hips, bring them to the right, and we're going to take this into a twist so that right foot comes all the way to the ground. Left hand can just push it out here, and then right hand reaches away. A spinal twist with hip opening. We try not to hold here, we just let go. If the left arm holding the right knee does not feel comfortable, finding a stretch that does feel better for you, a twist. Really nice. We'll come back to centre. We'll reset with a happy baby pose. So draw your knees to your armpits, soles of the feet to the sky, maybe holding onto shins or outer edges of the feet. Flatten your spine into the ground. Nice. And then inhale, right foot to the sky. Left ankle to right knee, holding onto the back of the right thigh. I'm just taking this in reverse. That may be bending the right knee. Just seeing if you're really sticking out your chin here. Can you realign it? Drawing it back. As much of the spine to the ground as we can, including the coccyx, that part of the tailbone. releasing the thigh. Right foot to the ground, shift the hips to the left and taking your twist. Maybe right hand pushes that knee away if that feels nice. Left arm reaches away. Inhale, head back to centre, drawing the knees in. An option to take another happy baby pose or to come into an alternative inversion. So in yogic philosophy, it's advised not to take any inversions on the first 3 days of your menstruation. So in which case you could maybe just relax your legs up the wall, stay in happy baby pose or anything else you fancy which just doesn't lift the hips above your shoulders. Otherwise, if you want to come into a nice shoulder stand, key here, always keeping the neck in line. We're going to draw the knees towards the forehead, lift the hips above your head, fingers pointing upwards, and we want to get the elbows together as much as possible. Now we begin to lift the legs, ankles, shoulders, hips in line, legs super active, point them but keep the knees together. 8 deep breaths. Nice. If you're in your shoulder stand, coming into Halasana, straight legs, point over your head. See if you can bring the tops of your feet to the ground. If the toes touch the ground, and only if the toes touch the ground, we interlink our hands behind our back. If they don't touch the ground, maybe bending the knees, but keep the lower back supported. We don't want to strain the neck. So when we're in our Halasana, we're just having the sensation of it being a little bit of a back bend, so lengthen the spine, tailbone to the sky. So it's a bit different to a forward fold. And just for the next few breaths, option to bend the knees, bring the knees around the ears. And maybe you can hold onto the soles of your feet and tuck them into your ears even more. Maybe you can give yourself a little hug here. Nice. Releasing. Bringing the support back to your lower back. Can you keep the legs together as you lift them back up into your shoulder stand? From here, either rolling down or bringing one foot to the ground at a time. Coming into a supported bridge. If you come all the way down to the ground, let's lift up the hips. So coming into bridge, feet hip width apart. Option to stay in a normal bridge or bring the hands just underneath your hips to support it. Very relaxing variation. Beautiful. Just a few breaths opening the heart. And whenever you're ready, rippling the spine, so imagining vertebra lowering down to the ground. Until finally the sacrum, then the tailbone comes down like a snake. Beautiful, soles of the feet together. One hand on your heart, one hand on your navel. Option to close the eyes here. Maybe just thinking the question now, is there anything else your body needs right now before we come into the Shavasana? So it might be a pose you're craving. You might just need to stay here a while. Sometimes sometimes we get so caught up in our head we forget to ask our bodies what the answers are. And I personally believe that our bodies have so much more wisdom than our minds. And it's amazing the answers you can get if you just listen and take the time to breathe and be quiet with the body. That's why I love yoga so much, because it really increases that connection to the body, increases the mind-body connection. So we can live so much more intuitively, so much more in our flow, so much more in line with what we're meant to be doing here. So whatever your belief is, maybe there's a pose you've chosen to do, maybe not. Let's begin to find our Shavasana. So the most rewarding but the most challenging of all the poses potentially. So bring our feet so they're at least hip mat width apart, arms out as wide as you like, palms to the sky. And then just lifting up the hips. Can you lengthen that lower back any more into the ground? Can you lengthen one leg, lengthen the other? How long can you make yourself here? And then once you've found your extended position, which feels comfortable to you, we'll just close the eyes and let go of any control of the body here. So we may want to wriggle, we're going to really resist the urge as soon as we've found our position. And we're going to bring the attention solely to the breath. Whenever we find it wander, just gently inviting it back to the present moment. Letting go of any control of the breath, any softness and freedom in the breath. If there's been any wandering of the mind, just bringing it back. Committing to this Shavasana, your well-earned rest. As you enjoy your final moments in your Shavasana, I just wanted to finish with this final thought from Deepak Chopra, who says, "Although my physical existence is confined to space and time, my awareness is not limited to that. I am aware of the whole field as a play of creation and destruction,
Matter and energy come and go, flickering in and out of existence like fireflies. Yet all events are held together and made orderly by a deep intelligence that runs through all things. I am one aspect of that intelligence. I am the field of an unfolding itself in local events. My spirit is experiencing the material world through the lens of perception. But even if I see and hear nothing, I am still myself, an eternal presence of awareness. In practical terms, this realization becomes real when no outside event can shake your sense of self. A person who knows himself in spirit never loses sight of the experiencer in the midst of experience. His inner truth says, I carry the consciousness of immortality in the midst of mortality. Osho says the witnessing soul is like the sky. The birds fly in the sky, but they don't leave any footprints. The one who is awakened lives in such a way that he leaves no footprints. He never looks ahead, he never looks back. He lives in the moment. Taking any words with you that resonated or leaving them all behind. Just beginning to bring some movement to your fingertips, your toes. Maybe inhaling, stretching arms long, legs long. Creating banana shapes as you lie on the ground in your final breaths. Exhale, drawing knees towards chest, giving yourself a little cuddle, thanking yourself for your practice today and bringing yourself here. Knowing that the benefits of your practice are long lasting and not just for the moment. If you're able to keep that sensation of what you've created today alive with you. And whenever you're ready in any form, maybe rolling onto one side, let's come up to seated. Welcome back, everyone. Shall we finish our practice today with the sound of the single Om, really bringing our awareness to all the vibrations that the sound creates, and especially to the silence that follows. You might be even more aware of the vibrations and the energy that it carries during that time. So inhale deeply together. And if you'd like to, just bringing your prayer to your third eye center. Bowing down, slightly reminding ourselves to have pure and loving thoughts. Bringing our prayer just in front of our mouths, reminding us to have pure and loving communication. Bringing your prayer in front of your heart, reminding us to have pure and loving intentions. Maybe pray taking your prayer down to the earth and just giving thanks, or taking a moment to send someone this amazing energy, positivity, love that you've created to anyone who might need it right now.